Hi and welcome to a cEDH gameplay video from my personal solo perspective where I pilot Pako and Haldan. In this video you're gonna see my hand size and hear my thought process during the game as I narrate the match. The grand goal is to showcase my thought process together with a fast-paced video. My build is fairly simple. I'm going for Divergent Transformation with Leveler and Fastest Oracle, which means that I can win in instant speed. Also, this deck contains an Aldrun Breach Brain Freeze combo. I'm going up against the new Mono White's Grand Abolisher commander with a huge stack package and, for example, coat of arms to overrun with a token production from the commander. My second opponent is playing Atraxa, and that's quite rare to see. He's going for the classic Mono White Walking Ballista Heliod Sun Crown combo, but also in there we have Fastest Oracle and Console. And my last opponent is playing Mono Red Magda Dwarf Tribal with all that cool stuff. Alright, let's start the match and take a look at my opening hand. This hand is absolutely amazing. We have Mana Crypt, Arcane Signet, Wild Growth, Breeding Pool. Like, we have a turn to Pako and then quickly follow up with Haldan and then Divergent Transformation. We can win something like turn 3 here, I think. Magda Brazen Outlaw begins with Springleaf Drum and Max Opal and pass to me. I'm gonna draw a card. I will begin with a Mana Crypt. Tap that. Arcane Signet. Shocking to play Breeding Pool. Tap that. Wild Growth and pass turn. Turn goes to Atraxa, who plays a Verdant Catacombs, finds an Underground Sea, and casts a Mana Vault. And then he passes the turn to Myrel, Shield of Grand Abolisher. Here comes an Ancient Tomb, Chalice on 0, and Fawn of Amethyst. I am so lucky I was before this guy in turn order. But there the turn goes to Magda, plays a mountain, and a dockside. That is a very fed dockside. That's 6 treasures. And then he casts Magda. Now he uses Springleaf Drum to tap Magda for mana and generate a treasure. Uses the mana to cast Soul Ring. Then he play Asgard Gallery. Go to my turn, untap, take 3 damage from the Mana Crypt, lay a Steam Vent, shock that into play. Turn to Pako. Alright, I do see someone with a lot of treasures, so Dwarf Boss. Here comes Dog. Pako attack trigger. Say a mountain from Magda, an island from me, carpet from Atraxa, and blind obedience from the Mono White. Pako grows to a 7/7, but here I will pass the turn. So turn goes to Atraxa, who shocks into play a breeding pool, and then passes the turn. The white guy, who also passes the turn straight to Magda. We need to be terrified because I actually think this could win the match here. This is an extremely scary board state. He plays a Mutavault. That's great. It doesn't... Oh, he can actually get haste from that creature there. It goes to combat. He swings with both of his creatures at Atraxa for 5 damage total, generating 2 more treasures. Now once Magda gets 10 treasures, he wins in instant speed. And then he passes the turn, being ready with instant speed Magda interaction. So I'll untap everything and draw a card. I'll take damage from the Mana Crypt again. I'm gonna begin by casting Haldan. Then I wanna go to combat. Let's go with Pako at Magda. Pako attack trigger. I hit a Verdant Catacomb, an Eldritch Evolution, Cavern of Souls, and I hit a Cavern of Souls from Magda as well. And then he puts Dockside in front of the big dog. I'm gonna play my island from my Pako Exile as a land drop. And then I'm gonna pass the turn. At the end of my turn, he cast Worldly Tutor. So I can't currently win at the moment because of Fawn of Amethyst. And he finds an opposition agent. I'm so happy about that. I will interact with Magda, but it won't affect me. And then he goes to his turn and untap and draws the oppo agent. But he doesn't do anything with it, he simply just draws the oppo agent and passes the turn. But at the end of the turn, myrel casts a Soul Partition. This is a spot removal that will remove my Pako. I have no response. I will send Pako to your exile to make it cost 7. That's really sad. That means I'm not winning fast enough anymore. But so neither is Magda, so we're going into a longer game here, I think. And then he casts his commander, Myrel. But in response, Magda makes Mutavault into a creature and uses the Springleaf Drum to tap the Mutavault to generate a treasure. And then he passes the turn to Magda. But Magda just straight up passes the turn. I'm dying to this crypt, taking 3 damage and untapping everything and drawing a card. I'm gonna play the Cavern of Souls that I took from Magda. I'm gonna say Elementals, so my dog is uncounterable. And then I wanna cast 1, 2, 3, 4. Expensive dog. We're back in pako action, so I want to go to combat. Pako is coming at Magda again. Pako attack trigger. Find a land, a tribe land, a Seer Ascendant, and a Lotus Petal from Atraxa. Yeah, he grows to 5 and goes through, passing the turn. Atraxa draws a card for turn. And Atraxa passes the turn. It doesn't do anything. Mono white guy with the Grand Abolisher effect in place, so we can't do anything. So let's see what this thing can do. 4 cards in his hand. Mother of Runes, and another creature that gives protection to his stuff. Then he goes to combat, sends the Grand Abolisher commander at Atraxa, and creates that artifact creature. And then he passes the turn. And Magda passes the turn. Untap and draw. I don't take any damage from the mana crypt this time. We've got drawn a lot of lands actually, kinda annoying. I wanna attack with Pako. Pako is going at Magda. Pako attack trigger, another land. Ranger Captain of Eos, an ETB anti-creature, and hits Stroke of Flames from Magda. Takes the Pako damage. I wanna play Bounder's Enclave, land drop. I'm gonna pay 3 mana and cast the Blind Obedience. Passing the turn, go for it guys. So turn goes to Atraxa. I can currently win in instant speed whenever I want to. I don't want to though, because there's gonna fly interaction all over the place, potentially. The big reason I'm not trying to win now is because Fabio casts a Draenite Magistrate, which is really annoying. So we're gonna probably have to kill that creature. He gives a spirit with the Forbidden Orchard to Magda. Turn ends and we go to Mono White guy who draws a card and has the Grand Abolish effect in play. Plays an Inventor's Fair. He goes to combat and attacks at Fabio for 4 damage. And there he passes the turn. So turn goes to Mono Red Magda. He plays a vehicle, Mighty Servant something. And he passes the turn. In the end step I'm gonna pay 4 mana and activate Bounder's Enclave because I have a creature with more power than 3. So I'll draw a card. Take 3 damage from the mana crypts, untap and draw a card again. So we've drawn into Leveler, that's really sad. Like super annoying. Suddenly we can't win in instant speed, I hate that. Pako is attacking at Fabio this time. Pako attack trigger. Chromox. Path to Exile. Tropical Island. I'm gonna play a Scalding Tarn, land drop. I'm gonna sacrifice the Scalding Tarn. I'm gonna find a volcanic island. I'm gonna pass the turn here, discarding Lotus Petal to hand size. We can't win an instant speed anymore because we have Leveler in our hand. That was a really sad draw. I'm honestly thinking about using Merchant Scroll to find Brainstorm, just to solve that. But knowing that he has an Oppo Agent in hand, he might get greedy and actually cast his Oppo Agent, so we will see. I kinda risk it to actually use the Merchant Scroll here. He plays a Phantasmal Image, and he takes a Pako. Good choice. And then he passes the turn to the Mono White guy. But in the end of turn, Magda is making more treasures. He plays a land. He swings everything at me. I will block the commander and take 3 damage. And then he passes the turn to Magda. Is this the turn Magda wins? Or tries to win? This is a really impressive Magda board state. But Blind Obedience is amazing. He crews his vehicle. It's a 6/6 that connects and draws cards. That's good value. He swings 6 at me. I take 6. Go to 14. Plays an Ancient Tomb. Second main. He plays a Liquor Coating. Comes into play tapped. And then he casts a Sphere of Resistance. In response to your Sphere of Resistance, I'm gonna cast a Frantic Search, but also paying 1 mana to extort all you for 1 damage and I gain 3. So I'm gonna draw 2, discard 2. Then I still have a response to that Sphere of Resistance. I'm gonna cast a Blink of an Eye, targeting Draenite Magistrate, and I pay Kicker to draw a card. Draenite goes to his hand. Then I have no further effects against Sphere of Resistance. But now Magda goes for it. Sacrifice 5 of his 15 treasures to activate Magda. I will respond first. I'm gonna tap my mana crypto and cast Path to Exile. Target Magda to exile Magda. But in response to my Path to Exile, he puts another Magda activation on the stack. And in response, Fabio casts Oppo Agent. But in response, Magda sacrifices 5 treasures to activate Magda once more. He finds Clock of Omens. that comes to play tapped because of blind obedience. Then Oppo Agent resolves. Then the search resolves and Fabio steals a Lotus Petal from the Magda's deck. Then Path of Exile resolves and exiles Magda, exiling Magda, but he declines the tutoring, so basically not giving a mountain to Fabio here. And then the last Magda activation resolves, finding a big dragon. Before I draw, I'm getting silenced by the mono-white player, which is fine, I guess. So we're not winning this turn. I take 3 damage from the mana crypt, untap everything and draw a card. I want to go to combat. First thing first. I want to attack with pako at Magda. Pako attack trigger. I'm exiling a Force of Will, Sanctum Prelate, Tanglevire, and Mana Crypt. He blocks with the Spirit. Then I'm gonna play this Mystic Sanctuary. I have 3 islands or more. And I put Blink of an Eye on top of my library. Pass the turn. Atraxa plays a Savannah and is currently capable of casting Atraxa. He sits in a very sad position of this game, but yeah, we'll see. Maybe there's a comeback potential. He begins by going to combat with the Phantasmal Image Pako at Magda. I'm gonna respond to that trigger effect by activating my Bounder's Enclave and drawing a mysterious card. I'm exiling Thassa's Oracle. So we are in a completely different game plan here now, guys. I guess our Divergent Transformation is gonna be a interaction spell now. Magda takes the damage and goes to 12 life remaining. Wow, I was sitting here going, oh, we're gonna win turn 3, and then small things just made it worse and worse and worse. And now suddenly we can't win. Well, it happens. I think Blind Obedience is gonna be key in this match. He recalls Draenite Magistrate. I'm gonna respond, counter spelling it with a Force of Will, pitching Serum Visions to it, losing a life. And then he passes the turn. He casts a Linvala, which doesn't do anything versus me. He swings everything at me, takes 7 damage. And then he passes the turn to Magda. Magda casts a Hellkite, big dragon. He makes Mutavolt into a creature and crews his vehicle and swings the 6 at Brian. And Brian takes the 6 damage. And he draws 2 from the vehicle. He plays a land and pass. I take 3 damage from the Mana Vault again. Untap everything and I draw a card. So we need to do this for the greater good. Pako is attacking at Fabio, the Oppo Agent owner. If you block, that's all I want. Yeah, there we go. Go away, Oppo Agent. I exile a War Room, Plains from Mono White, and Ashiok. I'll play War Room as land drop. I'm gonna transmute Muddle the Mixture. I'm gonna find Cyclonic Rift. I need to do it now. So I use the 1 last remaining mana from Mana Vault to 9 mana, Cyclonic Rift, overload everything. Be gone. Board state is a lot more clean. Probably gonna die to my Mana Crypt though. And then I pass the turn. Turn goes to Atraxa, who draws a card for turn. Atraxa casts Spell Seeker. So he has 2 potential options. He's thinking of Angel's Grace or going for Swords to Plowshare. I personally think he should take the Swords to Plowshare here, but like giving me the amount of life, Pako is a 17-17, which bring me back into a great game again suddenly. So I almost kind of want the Swords to Plowshare to happen because I can just recast Pako here. He ends up taking the Angel's Grace. Mono White plays Plains. He plays an artifact, comes to play tapped. He casts his commander, Grand Abolisher. He replays both of his 2 protection creatures, recasting Chalice and Zero. And then he passes the turn to Magda, recasting Sol Ring, comes into play tapped, that Blind Obedience being really good. Springleaf Drum. And then he's going to his discard. Alright, I swear to God, if I take damage from the Mana Crypt, I take damage from the Mana Crypt. 3 life or left, untap everything. Combat, I'm attacking everything I have at Mono White. Brian. Pako attack trigger. Ponder. Kitten. Pako grows to a 20-20, so you take 21 damage. I'm gonna play a Plains. I wanna cast my Ponder and I wanna extort all of you for 1, gaining 3. So you just realize something, if I actually kill Brian, Blind Obedience goes away. Okay, nice. I will the top card of my library and put 2 of them back. I'm happy as they are. I'm gonna cast Intuition. I'm gonna choose Underworld Breach, Noxus Revival, and Aggravated Assault. So I'm gaining Aggravated Assault to my hand. Those 2 cards goes to the grave. Cast Aggravated Assault. Activate Aggravated Assault, untapping my 2 creatures. Combat. I'm gonna attack at Brian for Pako. Attack trigger. I hit a tropical island, mystical tutor, and a mountain from Magda. It is currently at 23-23. That's a lot of lethal. Here I pass the turn. This means that blind obedience and my plane goes away. So I thought it was very important to kill the mono white player there, because eventually he just starts to produce that amount of tokens that I can't get through, and it becomes really annoying to kill him, and I'm running out of so much life that he will eventually kill me. But now I really want him to Sword to Plowshare my pako, which he can't. There's an Angel's Grace in his hand. Atraxa passes the turn to Magda. Plays a Jeweled Lotus. Chromox recasts Magda. I'm honestly a little bit scared that we might die here to Magda though. Then cast Fear of Resistance. Cast Clock of Omens. Sadly though, Atraxa does not have any interaction versus this, so it all resolves. So Magda makes infinite treasures. It's like a little bit sad that Atraxa actually found Angel's Grace, because Swords of Plowshares would have actually interacted with this, killing Magda or just killing that artifact dwarf. But in any case, he finds all of his rocks here. He creates a loop with Elixir of Immortality and Memory's Jar to deck ourselves out of the game. So it's a lot easier to showcase the entire combo in here, I think. So with Magda, you can search out these 3 artifacts with your infinite treasures. You sacrifice Memory Jar and you basically draw 7 new cards to your hand, and all of your other opponents does that as well. Then you crack Lion's Eye Diamond to discard that hand into your graveyard, very importantly, strangely. Then you sacrifice Elixir of Immortality to return all of those cards from the graveyard, including Memory Jar, Lion's Eye Diamond and Elixir of Immortality, back into your deck, and then you can repeat. So what you do here is that you mill out all of your opponents while your deck size basically stays at the same size. I totally forgot that all the pieces Magda had drawn, he had already drawn, so he didn't need to tutor for anything. I thought, Magda doesn't have any treasures, we should be fine, he needs to rebuild, but all the cards were already in his hand. And it's honestly really rare to be this unlucky. Both draw into Leveler, which prevented me from actually trying to win, and then accidentally exile Fastest Oracle, which also very much prevented me from winning. If we wouldn't have done either of those, we would have won.